You are watching Slime Recap.
Li Yang's puppet is just standing there, literally watching all these super precious materials get completely trashed, and you can just feel the burning hatred, right? Snaky, though. He's honestly super disappointed. I mean, he actually failed. But then he takes a second and realizes, wait, his method wasn't actually wrong. The real problem here is this absolute Temu-grade ancient alchemy furnace he's using. Like, his materials are just way too exotic, which makes it super hard to refine in some standard run-of-the-mill artifact furnace. It literally just couldn't handle the heat. So, he decides to just pack everything up for now, figuring he'll give it another shot once he tracks down a, more suitable crafting furnace. He tosses his new puppets into the storage space too, even though, honestly, it's barely going to put a dent in replenishing his puppet numbers. But then, Snaky remembers something He Huang mentioned a while back. Apparently, the absolute greatest crafters in the southern region of the state of Chu belong to the mountain-moving sect. And there are all these crazy rumors floating around that they still have the original crafting furnace left behind by the mountain-moving patriarch himself, plus, an actual underground dragon vein that just massively boosts their crafting power. Snaky starts wondering if he should just head over there next and try his luck, but they've got a ton of experts, so rolling up there blind would be incredibly dangerous. Because of that, he decides that before he goes anywhere, he desperately needs to get his hands on some minor teleportation talismans. Something to save his life in a pinch. He actually managed to loot a few blank spirit talismans off Li Yang, but strangely enough, not a single one of them was finished. It made him wonder, did Li Yang just not have the time to draw any? But then it hits him no, it's because he didn't have the materials. Li Yang's stash was completely empty of void stones, and since void stones are insanely rare, it totally makes sense why minor teleportation scrolls are basically impossible to buy on the open market. But our little Snaky? He's got just the thing. His own storage jade was actually crafted from void stone. He originally had 2 pieces, gave one to He Huang, but he can totally just use this leftover one to craft the talisman. So, he starts infusing his void energy straight into the stone and carefully inscribes the array onto the blank spirit talismans. Thanks to the void energy, the array actually activates successfully on the first try. Now for the final step, he just needs to infuse a spirit imprint, which he nails perfectly. But there's something kind of weird. The color of the runes on his talisman looks different from the standard ones. While everyone else's always glow this bright golden color, Snaky's are just pitch black. He starts wondering if it's because of his specific true chi. Still, Snaky wonders if he should maybe test it out first, just to be safe. But the talisman is single use, and he really doesn't have many void stones left to spare, so he decides he better just save it for a real emergency. Right at that moment, Li Yang's communication jade pendant suddenly starts glowing. Snaky is super curious about who would be sending a message to a dead guy. Suddenly, this crazy, black smoke-like spirit just materializes right in front of him. Snaky's immediately like, wait, is this some kind of hardcore demonic cultivation method? Just to be safe, he quickly summons Li Yang's puppet to act as a shield. The spirit then starts straight up talking to Li Yang. Snaky has literally never seen anything like this before. It starts rambling about the mountain-moving sect's master plan for tomorrow night during the third watch. Snaky is sitting there thinking the spirit is just gonna vanish after delivering the voicemail, assuming whoever sent this must have an insanely high cultivation base. But hearing that they're targeting the mountain-moving sect makes him realize this is actually the perfect setup for his own goal. He figures he can just disguise himself as Li Yang and infiltrate right alongside them. But then, the spirit suddenly reacts. It actually stops and questions why Li Yang isn't saying anything back. Snaky is completely shocked. He realizes this spirit is actually alive and can hold a real-time conversation. In a total panic, he throws out his flame snake technique to attack it. The flame snake tightly coils around the spirit and just starts devouring it, but the spirit is questioning who Snakey actually is. This completely catches him off guard. So, Snakey doesn't mess around anymore. He immediately pulls out his soul-devouring banner, absorbs the spirit entirely, and just feeds it to his snake spirits to feast on. But the second the spirit is completely devoured, the communication jade just shatters into pieces. Snakey is stunned. He can't believe such a tiny little pendant had a crazy trick like that hidden inside it. He starts wondering if that projection was some kind of high-level clone. But then again, the spirit seemed pretty restricted to just passing on messages. It definitely lacked any real combat power, totally unlike Yangzi's clones. Still, Snakey realizes that Li Yang definitely had a major expert backing him up, meaning our boy just stepped into a whole lot more trouble. Meanwhile, over at the Ryu Tavern, the vibe has gotten extremely tense. Xu Qinfeng, an early Golden Core stage master, puts his drink down. He's already sensed that something bad has happened to Li Yang. Zhang Tai, another early Golden Core guy, chimes in saying he never trusted Li Yang anyway. I mean, the guy was a demonic heretic. Zhang Tai argues you can't rely on a backstabber like that in the first place. Then, Zhang Fei, a late Foundation establishment cultivator and an actual disciple of the Mountain Moving sect, asks Xu Qinfeng what the point even was of recruiting rogue cultivators if they can't be trusted. Xu Qinfeng kind of sighs and explains that, yeah, Li Yang might be a demonic cultivator, but he wouldn't just betray the people who were literally supplying him with all his rare materials. Judging by his senses, it's way more likely that Li Yang has just been deleted from the server. He reminds them that they are severely short on manpower right now, which is exactly why they had to stoop to recruiting guys like him. Kushuan, a peak Foundation establishment monk, points out the obvious. They're now officially down one helper for their massive raid on the Mountain Moving sect tomorrow night. But Yin, another Peak Foundation expert, just brushes it off. She asks him what he's so afraid of, basically saying the Mountain Moving sect is washed up and not what it used to be. She adds that if push comes to shove and things go south, they can just pay up and hire the purple-haired thief. Cut to the next day, right during the second watch over at the Mountain Moving sect. Snakey is already there, completely hidden using his Earth Escape technique. He's geared up with 8 minor teleportation talismans, and when you combine that with his fish dragon microsteps and his puppet art's position shifting, he can easily escape even if this little field trip goes completely sideways. He's got it all mapped out. He knows the group Li Yang was supposed to be with won't even show up until the third watch. By the time they arrive and start their raid, Snakey plans to have already used the artifact furnace and slipped out the back door. But there's one massive issue right now. How the heck is he supposed to slip through the sect's mountain protection array without setting off all the alarms? Last time, he and He Huang only pulled it off because he completely relied on He Huang to crack the array and set up a backdoor teleportation formation. This time though, the Mountain Moving sect only has a single Golden Core stage expert holding down the fort. And not only is this guy stationed super far away from the artifact crafting room, but judging from Snakey's detection jade plate, the dude's aura is actually really weak. That means he's either nursing a pretty bad injury, or he's stuck deep in secluded cultivation. Just as Snakey is trying to figure out his next move, he hears this loud commotion outside the gates. Peeking out from the dirt, he sees a guard basically screaming at Xiao Chou, telling him he's brought massive shame to their sect and that he's officially been expelled. Snakey is honestly just surprised to see that Xiao is even still alive at this point. Xiao is totally blindsided by this. He had no idea he was expelled, but the guard smugly informs him that the sect master issued a brand new decree. Xiao Chou, along with any stray snakes and dogs, are strictly forbidden from stepping foot inside the mountain moving sect. Xiao is absolutely furious and refuses to believe it, yelling that he's gonna go ask the master face to face. But the guards just cross their spears and refuse to let him take another step. Snaky watches all this unfold and just smirks. This situation is literally perfect for him. He figures he'll just play the good guy, lend Xiao a quick hand, and then totally use the chaos to sneak himself inside. An absolutely flawless plan.